Welcome, welcome. I am so glad you are here. Thank you for joining One True Promotion again. It is Saturday the 6th. It is 8 p.m. There is no audio. There is no audio. Why is there no audio? Let's try this. Is there audio now? Thank you for joining us at One True Promotion. I am Alec, and this is Live from the Living Room. We are collaborating tonight with L Rubenstein, the creator and host of All the Hits and Several Misses, a expert poetry and comedy show. And this is our very first collab that we will be delivering to you right from the comfort of your home. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Our first guest tonight is Jake Hetrick. He is a talented singer-songwriter and musician, and he is going to be gracing us tonight with his amazing talent. Let's bring him on right now. Jake, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right tonight.
We are so thrilled to have you. We are so thrilled to have you. Take it away, my friend.
She was just trying to make a living, provide a service for a fee, but you treated her just like a joke. Well, she didn't fit your worldview, so you thought she wouldn't know how things work around these parts. 'Cause you were a good old boy, far superior from the start, until that monster from southeastern Albuquerque. Well, he ruined your Thanksgiving when he stole your family's turkey. Alright. Yeah, that was greatly inspired by the musical stylings of Andrew Jackson Jihad, or AJJ nowadays, I guess. This one's called Useless Ryan with a B. It's about a land.
We were actually going to take.
Hey, bud. I just want to get a hold of you real quick, just to let you know. There were some tech difficulties, so nobody heard you up until just now. And we tried reaching you on Instagram, but I guess we couldn't get a hold of you. I was able to fix your audio. Your audio is fine. Just give me like a heads up, everybody else on all platforms. I should be up on Twitch. We should be up on YouTube. Wow, that's. No, if you had anything up, you were fine. I had fixed it on my end. So whatever settings you had, leave the B. You're all good on my end. I did some technology mumbo jumbo, and you should be all good to go.
Fire away, Jake. That was yours.
All right. Cool. Thank you. My phone's sliding. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right, so this one's about a shitty landlord. I'm sure everyone has dealt with that at some point. Well, I really wish that you would fix my sink one day. I really wish that you would do a single thing you say. 'Cause you make all these extravagant promises, but you never follow through on a single one. Well, my bathtub is covered up in black mold, and everything in my kitchen was so fucking old. And I can't fit a normal pot in my stove, and I just want you to know. I really wish that you would fix my sink one day, and I really wish that you would do a single thing you say. 'Cause you make all these extravagant promises, but you never follow through on a single one. Well, I'm not really asking you for a lot. I just wish that you would do your fucking job, but you're too busy looking up to those kids next door, which is kind of weird because they're 19 and you're like 34. And I get that you took that first carpet out, but that was long overdue, so that don't fucking count. Hell, when we moved in, that shit wasn't clean. There was broken furniture on the floor. You said, see anything you need? Well, I really wish that you would fix my sink one day, and I really wish that you would do a single thing you say. Oh, you make all these extravagant promises, but you never follow through on a single one. All right. Thank you for sticking with me, guys.
Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to remind the Instagrammers real quick. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you for supporting Jake. Thank you for supporting OTB and Live from the Living Room. Please subscribe to the One True Promotion YouTube channel. Tell your friends. Fire away, Jake.
All right, so that last one was called Useless Ryan with a B. And this one's called Love in the Time of COVID-19. Love in the time of COVID-19, well, we all learned some shit while stuck in quarantine. It started off like watching that Netflix run. No, we learned about the Tiger King and all the shit he's done. And then all the stores, well, they all ran out of yeast while everyone learned to bake bread for a week. But then the shit got hectic as some things all came to light. Well, we all stood up and screamed at it, our voices to the fight. Love in the time of COVID-19. Well, we all learned some shit while stuck in quarantine. At first they all joked saying that they'd kill their wife, but then they all protested, saving their own lives. Oh, they marched on the state capitals, armed to the teeth, and then those Blue Lives Matter folks, well, they spit at the police. They said, you're taking my freedom, oh, can't you see? But then displayed a deep lack of responsibility. Oh, love in the time of COVID-19. Well, we all learned some shit while stuck in quarantine. And then when we took to the streets protesting and marching against the police met us with their guns and batons, showing us all of the things that we said that were wrong. And some companies jumped in as social justice merchants, but we have yet to see any real change. Those concessions just don't cut it. Oh, love in the time of COVID-19, well, we all learned some shit while stuck in quarantine. All right. All right. This next one, these are all newer songs. I recently started writing again, which has been a lot of fun. So thank you all for inviting me here and inspiring me to do that. This one's called Mr. Brainwaves. Mr. Brainwaves, please just give me a sign. Oh, please let me know that my thought process is fine. Oh, Mr. Brainwaves, please make a sound. Please let me know that I will not drown. Mr. Brainwaves, please turn back on. Oh, please let me know that you have not gone. It's too late for me to say this, that maybe it's those racing thoughts that I miss. Did they make me the man that I was? Am I just an empty shell, or do I still have some buzz? Oh, Mr. Brainwaves, please give me a sign. Please let me know that my thought process is fine. Oh, Mr. Brainwaves, please make a sound. Please let me know that I will not drown. Mr. Brainwaves. All right.
Jake, you're a little bit blurry on Instagram here. You want to adjust your mic at all, or camera at all? Sorry. You can pop in and back, out and back in if you want, if that helps. I can pull you back up.
All right, we'll try that because I don't know how to fix.
Right. No problem. It's all good. It'd be like this. All right. Jake, you're a little bit
better.
Not quite, but I get. Oh, yep, there it is.
All right, cool.
All right, seems like it's trying to straighten itself out.
All right.
All right, floor is yours, my friend.
All right, so this Halloween, I got like super duper into gothabilly. I decided it's the pinnacle of punk rock, and it's fucking super rad. So this is inspired by gothabilly. I didn't name it. Well, you took your Cadillac and you painted it all black. How could you? How could you? Zip it down that boulevard. It won't be the last we heard of you, of you, of you, of you. And that's when your bangs came down. You look to the moon, you shout, how, 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 how. The night's so young for folks like you. Is there nothing I can do? How could you? How could? I reached for the lock, but it was too late. Already had me served up on a silver plate. I guess that's just the way these things go. One look at the food chain and I'm sitting too low. Well, you took your Cadillac and you painted it all black. How could you? How could you? Zip it down that boulevard. It won't be the last we heard of you, of you, of you, of you. And that's when your eyes came out. You look to the moon, you shout, how, how. I'm still young for folks like you. Is there nothing I can do? How could you? How could I reached for the lock, but it was too late. Already had me served up on that silver plate. I guess that's just the way these things go. One look at the food chain and I'm sitting too low. Alright. Cool. This next one, it's called Jazz Hands for Aliens. It's about that guy on the History Channel who was always like, aliens, you know? He's somehow credible. He's probably never had a haircut in his life. Let's go. Let's get some jazz hands for aliens, cause you know that they did cause every event in human history. Some gods come down from Mars, from the Aztecs to the Egyptians, it's seen all across the globe. And with countless drunken rednecks claiming to be clone, let's get some jazz hands for aliens, cause you know that they did change the very course of human history when they muddled with our brains. If you listen to Steven Spielberg, well, I'm sure that you will see that aliens are just as real as you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me. Now they're coming with their spaceships and their nifty tractor beam, and they're sucking up the cows, all the farmers and all the fleas. And I find something quite interesting, and I hope that you'll agree. Oh, I wonder why they only take the dregs of society, and I wonder if they think the whole world is Alabama. That's a pretty poor representation of it. It's really not all that far off. Let's get some jazz hands for aliens, cause you know that they did cause every event in human history. Some gods come down from Mars, from the Aztecs to the Egyptians, it's seen all across the globe. And with countless drunken rednecks claiming to be thrown, let's get some jazz hands for aliens, cause you know that they did change the very course of human history. Like kind of brain. If you listen to Steven Spielberg, well, I'm sure that you will see that aliens are just as real as you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me. Alright. What are we doing next? I know. This one's about me being anxious a lot. I didn't name it. Alright. Lately I've been thinking about these things that I've been thinking of, and I just can't seem to beat these racing thoughts. Instead they're running free around my head. The farther that I let them roam, well, they just seem to go and go, and now I think they're too far off to control. And I don't think I can bring them home. I'm scared they'll get the best of me, cause they're friends with my anxiety, and I don't think I can keep them in their stupid cage. Instead they're running free around my brain. I need to get some good police so I can finally clean up the streets of the neighborhoods that exist between my ears, cause they've been on a downturn for years. Alright. How much time I got left? Like 8 minutes?
About that, but
All right, cool. All right. This is an oldie but goodie. It's called the Train Hot Boogie. It's about kids at punk shows who think they're more punk rock than me because they're homeless. All right. Hanging outside of that punk show, I find some kids that I don't know they have a wash tray. Feeling blasphemies inside my head. Oh, man, is the way for me. Yeah, government will set you free. Oh, if we all take care of our neighbors, oh, we won't need no police. Well, I'm hopping some freight trains. That's what you said that I should do. I don't know about me, but it sure seems to work for you, and I don't see why I can't be free like you. Well, I bought these boots at the Salvation Army, and they're all out of the hell, but they're sure working for me. Yeah, living second hand is the way for me, 'cause I've never felt quite like gravy. Oh, wavy gray, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm hanging outside of that punk show. I'll find some kids that I don't know, and I'll fill their heads with blasphemy. Come run away with me, and we will be the cool kids. Yeah, and our kids will be tattered all across our new dress. All right, so I think I'm going to try to fit in two more real quick. One of them's short, and you're going to have to bear with me because I wrote it 2 days ago. It's about the game stonks. So let's get going. By yourself, you are so weak. Compared to these systems, you are so small and meek, but together, apes are strong. Task ahead, it seems so daunting. The visions in your head, they seem so real and haunting, but they got away with this shit for too long. Now we're burning down the game with the rules that they wrote. Took to the web, made it seem like a joke. With shitposts and memes, well, we organized the masses. Took all their shorts, squeezed them right out their asses. Alright, now I got a guest coming in. This is my dad, and we're going to play the first cover of tonight. Alright, this is Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen, with, I guess, my own flair to it. Well, they blew up the chicken man in Philly last night, and they blew up his house too. On the boardwalk, they're getting ready for a fight. Gonna see what them rapid boys can do. Well, there's trouble busting in from out of state, and the DA can't get no relief. Gonna be a rumble out on the promenade, and the gambling commission's hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Baby, everything dies, baby, that's the fact. Baby, everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Got a job, I'm trying to put some money away. But I got debt that no honest man can pay. So I took what I had from that central trust, and I bought us 2 tickets on that Coast City bus. So baby, everything dies, maybe after that. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Well, our love may have died and our love may be lost, but with you forever I'll stay. Now I'm going back to where the sand turns to gold, so tighten up your stocking, baby, cause night's getting cold. So baby, everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Well, I'm looking for a job, but they're hard to find. Down here, just winners and losers. Don't get caught on the wrong side of that lineup. Tired of coming out on the losing end. Oh, baby, last night I met this man. I'm gonna do a little favor for him. So, baby, everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Well, baby, everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. All right. Thank you, guys.
That was awesome. Great job, Jake. And great job, Jake's dad. It was good to have you on the show. Jake, thank you so much for joining us. That was amazing. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Thanks for having me. Hope to be able to hop on with you guys again.
Do you have anything you want to let the audience know before you go?
Thanks.
Please stick around. The next 2 artists are absolutely spectacular. We're going to have some very good beat style poetry and then some excellent comedy poetry blend that is just incredibly unique.
Thank you so much.
So stick around and enjoy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. You have a great night, friend.
You too.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who was watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you, everybody who was watching on Instagram. I would just like everybody to know that the next person we got coming on is an amazing, amazing poet. I am absolutely thrilled that he decided to join us tonight. You guys are in for a really great show. And in but moments, actually seconds, you will be seeing Damian Rucci. Hello, my friend.
How you doing, man?
How are you? It's great to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us for Live from the Living Room. What is up?
It's great to be here. I just got over the Rona, and I got my SpongeBob hat on, and it's a good night. So I'm here to read some poems. It was great listening to Jake, and I'm here for it, man.
You're here for it. Fire away, my friend.
All right, guys. I'm going to do some poems for my new book. It's with my poetry troupe, The New Prophets of Poetic Discord. The ghosts of our words will be heroes in hell. That's a quote from a Kansas City poet named Victor Smith. And this poem's about being poor, because it sucks. When you're poor, you're always fucking or fighting. Always fucking because there's never anything to do but thrust and moan. And when that's done, then you're fighting. Fighting to keep the lights on. Fighting to keep the bills paid. Fighting to find change to do the laundry. And fighting with that landlord about that $50 he's still missing. But it could be worse. You could always be waiting again. Waiting for the electricity company to finally kill the lights. Waiting for that check to hit your mailbox. Waiting for the winds to blow luck your way for once. Boom. So a lot of the poetry that's in this new book, which is it's a 4-part split with Victor Clevenger, John Dorsey, Jason Reberg, and myself. A lot of it's about Missouri. I lived out in Missouri for about a year and a half, on and off, a year on, then a half. And I did all the crazy things, sold all my shit and moved to a foreign land where I didn't know anybody, and insanity ensued. And these are a couple poems about that. This poem is called In the Foothills of the Ozarks. An American flag, a Midwestern love song, a 6-gun salute in a muddy river bed. The skeletons of the Osage run naked and free, skip rocks down the Gasconade. The daughters of farmers cut their hair short, find agency in their bones, live their truths in gay bars in big cities, never to return to their barn-shaped prisons. On the foothills of the Ozarks, everything is magic. Music swims in the blood of the porch sitters. This next poem I don't really read a lot, so I'm excited for the opportunity to read it. This is from my good friend Jimmy Scoutin. He's one of the youngins who palled around with me for better or worse. It's called Send It, and it's about smoking weed. He who packs the bong sends it off with a column of smoke. If it yellows, if the cloud escapes, and that son of a bitch gave a full send. It's all about the ritual. The glass passes between warm hands, fingertips briefly meeting. How long can we hold this down here before we're torn away by the pestilences of the outside world, the hopes that keep us going, the faces it's easier to forget? Hallelujah, none of it matters. We're columns of smoke vibrating too fast, but this'll ground us. This'll keep our feet tucked into the carpet. The smoke dances between loose lips. If Jesus ever spoke, then he spoke in moments like these, tucked away in the apartments of the faithless, echoed down lonely hallways. The only church I've ever known is here now, trading smoke with you, coughing our passage to those holy gates. And one day, all of this will be gone. Yeah. So I was part of an arts residency when I was out there, and my apologies to said arts residency, because I was a great artist there, but I wasn't a great arts resident. Do you know what I mean? But we partied and galvanized and some might say terrorized the area, but I fell in love with it out there. I really do. And this poem is about this bar out there, right smack dab in town. It was a pool hall called Paget's Pool Hall. And you could smoke in there. You could get hammered for $20. It was a great place. And it was like the whole community went there. The artists went there, everybody. And I ran an open mic there called The Bell Ringer. This is about that. It's called Paget's Pool Hall at noon. All the best joints let you smoke while you're drinking. Each pitcher is a milestone to nirvana. 2 in, and the afternoon is bright. 4, and the dogs come out of the men. The truth hangs on loose lips. Love is a commodity that hangs on a moment. And where are you now? The noon drink has become a marathon. The boys have dropped their hats. Character fades in the beer foam. The Missouri sky waves goodnight, and we've killed a keg in conversation. The night calls us elsewhere, and you aren't here. You aren't here. I miss that place a lot. Just so much craziness was in there, and like the people were so fucking sweet, and I miss it a lot. And I'm just gonna go right into the next one. I can't believe what you told me tonight, that we came out here to clean up and see the sun for once. But it's 2 a.m., naked on a 3-day bender, sniffing speed off of Crowley books, as if railing powdered magic can save us, as if we were born for this, as if the sins of our fathers painted yellow brick roads to addiction. There's always someone on our front porch. It's either our junkie neighbor or a savior. You know I'm only letting one of them in. Jesus can wait. The devil isn't known to be patient. The monsters get you in your dreams, and that's why I never go to sleep. Stay up with me, baby. One more night. Jesus will be there in the morning. The outside will be there in the morning. The world will wait for us. Don't worry. My horoscopes are highways to oblivion. So save the Hallmark card for a soul worth saving. Can you give me a minute? There's someone at the door. So my next door neighbor was a small business owner, you know, and his merchandise doesn't need to be mentioned, but it was the stuff that keeps you up at night and makes your teeth want to go on vacation. So I didn't involve myself in that. You know, the only love I need in this life, the only drug is the love of the Lord. But it's another poem about that. This is Missouri. I hope I never see you again. Or at least that part of you, dirty and anxious outside of the gas station. I hope I never see your barefoot children running through my dreams, pockets full of roses and crystal. I followed them down the country roads, through the creeks, the vacant barns and broken light bulbs, to my neighbor's kitchen table. I hope I never see the serpent of smoke that slithers from a tinfoil boat and finds its home into the chasm where my soul once lived, but has gone on vacation, has packed up his suitcases and tore off for Rolla Airport. I might never see him again. I hope I never see your red-lit, sinister streets, the shadows panhandling outside of the supermarket, the damned rotting at the motel. From the rearview mirror, I watched my neighbor fight an invisible foe. By the time he calls for help, we are on an interstate highway, and the only way to look is ahead. Nugs, not drugs. You know what I mean? This is a poem, kind of a trilogy of Jesus Can Wait, Missouri, Hope I Never See You Again, and this is But When I Get Clean, baby. I say it's a poem of redemption, okay? But when I get clean, baby. The sun will bring us from sleep. A coffee pot on a countertop in an apartment we can't recognize will steep black and bitter. And we will walk the rooms in our pajamas, sit on the couch, laugh at the memories we've forsaken, muse about old friends on foreign streets. The devil will have forgotten about us. Instead, angels will sing for us. The flowers in the front yard will bloom for us. The world will be ours. Another lost soul will pick up my habit, will wander Midwestern highways, will trade his words for 3 a.m. sutras. I will pray for him like others prayed for me. All of the things we told ourselves at dawn in the squalor we built will come true, and our smiles will be made of pearls and sugar. And all the apartments we left behind will be christened again with good souls who will paint the walls and water the plants, will clean our blood off of the floorboards. When the sun tucks its head beneath its bed of clouds, we will blow kisses to the heavens, and I will hold you until the sun welcomes another day. All right. I think I'm going to do one more poem out of this book, then I'm going to switch over to one of my others. This poem's about touring, which I've done a lot, and with the pandemic. So after my 5 years of terror, called the Reign of Terror, I told my fiance, I said, baby girl, I love you. We're going to settle down. We're going to get the house with the white picket fence. We're going to save money and do all those things and get married and whatever. Because the road's bad, you know, like I talk to a lot of young kids and they're like, man, you did that Jack Kerouac shit. And I'm like, the problem with selling your television to go on tour is when you get home, you don't have a television. You know what I mean? Like Jack Kerouac always had a place to go home to. But I miss touring, you know, being stuck with the pandemic has really made me miss. I used to be able to just quit a job and just take off, and that's not a possibility at the moment. What's about that? It's called Billboards Over Kansas. Billboards over Kansas fields Are you on your way to heaven? We're sweating in this car, 6 hours out from Missouri, waiting to break out in the dry heat. We're not on our way to heaven, only to Salina, only to grab a fistful of America. The bars are already filled with men who have never tried, so we head for the highway. Back home, our old friends are tucking their children to sleep, are singing lullabies to future senators. But Emory has some couches downstairs, and tomorrow is a myth we're unsure of. On Santa Fe Avenue at the bookstore, we read poems for local drunks and skids, cop cheap blotter acid, and tiptoe through the headstone reveries to quick shop. Solace can only be found in these moments. But dawn will find us writing poems in someone else's backyard with the sleep still caught in our eyes. We pack the car and head for Texas, never once thinking to look back at home. All right. I'm going to read a little bit. This is the book that came out before my split. It's called Don't Call It a Relapse. And it was published by Punk Prudential Press out in Missouri. And the cover is a collage of all my favorite things. You got women, pot leaves, you got, everything you would need to have a Mitch Hedberg moment. And it's called Don't Call It a Relapse. And it's called Melancholy in the Afterglow. You can throw all the rocks from here to Norwood Avenue up to heaven, but they'll always find home again in the earth. Maybe in different places, maybe find new homes in the silk grasses of privilege, but they'll always be covered in dirt. Then why do we mourn dawn, hold on to the black skies of transcendence as light rays remind us we're still ourselves? They remind us that any enlightenment that comes in a baggie is another layer we try to hide truth behind. After all, the higher you climb, the harder it hurts when you fall back down. This is a little bit more of a little power in this one. This is called Bathroom Stalls. It's about working overnight at ShopRite. Shouldn't have said where I was because I still work for said company. Hope my boss ain't watching. This is called Bathroom Stalls. Here we are again. Borza is breaking up the pills on the sink. I'm watching the door. It's our nightly dance. It makes the world shine. It's always something to make the night glow. Always the Adderall, the Ritalin, the Molly, and the weed keeps us grounded. It keeps our hearts in our chest. Boars and I can't get off the couch in the day, but at night, we're entrepreneurs. We make it work. We're scientists. 400 milligrams of caffeine's enough to double an Addy 20. Add a pack of smokes, you got Nirvana, baby. We live for the lightning, howl into the empty 3 a.m. dawn, sit Buddha face as the sun greets suburbia. Work isn't work when you're flying. Work ain't just work when you're dying. We talk about all the things we want to do on the outside, save money one day and clean up, but we both know we'll be back in that bathroom stall again tonight. We both know there ain't nothing outside for men like us. Oh, I'm about to drop a couple more. So my first apartment was with my buddy in Keyport. When I was really young, he built this like dope ass basement, whatever. And I hit by a car. And then my first apartment with Rebecca, who's also a poet, was in Keyport in this dude's backyard, and it was fucked up. The windows couldn't be shut. There was like cracks everywhere. So like in the winter, it was like cold, Jack, you know? And I wrote a poem because I got Rebecca a Japanese fighting fish because she really wanted one. And like one day it was like 20 degrees outside and we woke up and like, you know, the fish bit it. This is called It's Winter Now, the Fish is Dead. Rebecca wanted a Japanese fighting fish. We found a female, scarlet and captivating as sirens beckoning lost captains ashore. She named it Andromeda, Andy for short, and it brought her happiness to feed her. A little extra life does a lot in the middle of a wasteland. Then winter came like an icy giant, wrapped our belongings in frost. Only one of the radiators breathed heat, and the bathroom window couldn't be shut. At night, we'd land or pile of blankets, sometimes wear our jackets to sleep, pray that what they say about body heat was true, and we'd awake in the morning. That morning came in February. We shook the cold from our bones. Rebecca went to feed Andy, but the bowl was frozen solid. Andy's life ended in a glacier. It's winter now. The fish is dead, and we gave her a fish's funeral, flicked ashes into the toilet bowl, and flushed her out of our concerns. I heard freezing to death isn't so bad. They say you become euphoric, get really warm, and then just go to sleep. I hope we make it through this winter, and we won't find out for ourselves. That was a cold winter, son. So, this next poem is, you ever stand outside like a supermarket and you see that like Garda, like the arms trucks rolling up, and like you're a good person, you got a job, you're a tax-paying citizen, but sometimes you look at that truck and you're like, man, I know there's a dude with a gun back there, but if I can get onto that truck, like the whole neighborhood's eating good. That's about that. This is called working class anxiety. Sundays are for picking what we can live without. They cut my hours at work again, so something's getting shut off. If we eat one big meal in the afternoon, I could steal something at work and we'll be okay. The internet and cable are going. We'll have to borrow the neighbors. My feet are calloused and raw. I haven't had socks in months. These rubber soles are holy. My feet tear at the asphalt. I have working class anxiety, living paycheck to paycheck. I want to be a good man, but I have to make sure we're taken care of. I watch the armored truck park in front of the store, and I dream of adventure, of wrestling the guard to the ground, breaking away with more money than anyone in my neighborhood has ever seen. I'd buy us a good apartment on the good side of town, buy my mom a car so she can get to work, buy my little brother an education, take us out of this cycle that turns hardworking people into criminals and addicts and mass cards. The truck pulls away, with it my hopes. I think of all the working class casualties, all those boys with good in their hearts serving mandatory minimum sentences, all those families stuck on welfare. The American dream is only for those who can afford it. The rest of us sleep dreamless. With empty pockets, we find our vices and use anything to get us to tomorrow. That tomorrow feels a lot like today. We all have some big fantasy. I guess we all have an armored truck. So I got a couple minutes, so I'm going to do one short poem and I'm going to do one longer poem. I haven't done a virtual reading in a while because I've been I had the Rona and then I almost fucking died with a Rona-related infection. It's called Us and the Roses. There's an empty gallon of water we fashioned into a vase on the table. Within it, a bouquet of dead roses hang their burgundy petals in shame, as if knowing they didn't try enough to silence the screaming matches that season our nights with broken hearts and regrets. The vase and its wilted flowers on the table get buried with old takeout. We may never see it again. We're too busy dying in this one-room bungalow, counting spare change for dollar store burritos, enough gas to get to work, enough grass to numb the hurt. Roses, sweet roses, if I buy another bouquet, will you save this relationship? Will your blood red bloom new hope within our chest? Will your beauty make us forget about the money we don't have, or the jobs we can't find, or the world we hide away from? But you'll be there too, in a jug of water on a messy table, shrouded in darkness, dying while we destroy ourselves. I feel for you. The only time we see light either is when we're punching holes through the dry walls, letting the light beams touch our pale skin. It's not so bad, really. It's cheaper than a lamp. I'm going to do uno mas. It just depends on... All right. This is the closure of that chapbook. It's called Sadness and Other Poems. I'm sorry. Sadness and Other Songs I Haven't Learned to Dance to. Back home on the coast, I chased down this sadness with every cigarette sucked into the crevices of my lungs, with every double shift of work beaten into the soles of my feet, with every line of drugs I followed into the swan song of morning. And when we left to Missouri, I thought I left it behind me, stuck in the infinite crashes of the Atlantic on the beaches of Long Branch, tied to the pillars of the boardwalks we dodged daylight behind. But it found me here too, as knots on the brakes of my knuckles, as piles of trash along the floor, as empty white paper, as broken lamps, as tears streaming down the pale of your face. Here, the sun shines from a different orbit. The stars dance at night. Cicadas sing choruses for broken men, and I dance drunken home, hoping my dreams will bring me closer to holding you the way that I should. Outside on the porch now, I watch the moon escape from its prison, glow heavy and amber. It sings me songs I haven't learned to dance to. Tomorrow, the sadness will return, grim but expected. Tomorrow, I'll fail again. Maybe all along, this sadness was a song too. I just can't remember how it goes. Boom. All right, I got like 3 minutes or so. Yeah, oh yeah. I almost forgot you were there, Alec. Jesus Christ, scared me. So, I'm assuming the vast majority of folks who are tuning in are from Dirty Jersey. And because of that, I'm going to read this poem about gentrification, Hurricane Sandy, and what happened to this beautiful state after all the small businesses got washed up in the hurricane and the rich money motherfuckers rolled in. Can you say $1,500 for a one-bedroom apartment? That's ridiculous. Anyway, this is about that. It's called From the Sidewalk. From the sidewalk. From the sidewalk. The bay is blue, welcoming, the succubus of shore town pride. The businessmen in their suits are turning this town into something it's not. A colony of the city. Money movers trade moralities for escalades and unkept dreams. I remember the waterfront before they paved it, when the wooden boardwalk bumped with the nightly tide, when the police never bothered to bust anyone for fishing for dinner and drinking a brew. When West Front Street was weird and happening, when you could park within earshot of the breaking waves. But I see the change. Down Beer Street, where you could always cop a cheap gram, where I first saw a loaded handgun, where Hard Times and Section 8 bonded the poor into a community. They're building condos for the clean-faced elite, building high-rises that cost $2,000 a month. Where were they when the Bay Shore swallowed the coast? When the hurricane equalized the rich and the poor? In a 15-foot storm surge, everyone is afraid. Your car is no longer a status symbol when it's floating down the street. Suits and hoodies don't look no different when you're wading through 4 feet of water. From the sidewalk, I watch this town be swept from the waves of commercialism. The bodegas of San Juan Hill are the next to go. Yoga studios and Starbucks will consume the bars then. From the sidewalks, we will wave goodbye to our homes. Boom. Alec, I want to thank you for having me on. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you for being on, my friend. That was awesome. Damien, how can we support you? Where can we contact you?
Facebook, Twitter, twitter.com/Damien Rucci. That's where I haven't really been on social media because I've been like hiding like Osama, but I'm coming back to the forward. And I'm not hot no more, so I'm coming back out. So check Twitter, Facebook, and like besides that, it is what it is. Thank you guys. Don't do drugs. Be good.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you so much. Godspeed, my friend, and we're glad that you are healthy and feeling better. Thank you for being on the show, folks. Please support Damien. Take care, my friend. Guys, everybody in the audience, y'all, guys, girls, everybody, thank you so much for supporting the show. The show has been absolutely amazing so far, and we are so happy to have you here. Real quick, before we go any further, because we are getting to the main event very soon, I would like to tell you, for those of you who are new, a little bit about One True Promotion. Pardon me. One True Promotion is a shared entertainment brand between Alec Pangea, author, and Andrew Bass, author, two authors whose dream was to do interactive stuff just like this, form a promotion brand for the surrounding indie community, and give something back to all of you. We have Drop a Line, my show, which can give you a free interview live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We have Writing Sprints, where Andrew live sprints his writing process. We have live readings, where I will read your work live. One True Promotion is dedicated to the surrounding community. And this partnership that you are watching right now is with Sam Rubenstein, an amazing artist who will be joining us shortly, maybe, I don't know. But this is a version of his show, All the Hits and Several Misses, combining with One True Promotion called Live from the Living Room. We just wanted to give you all some music, poetry, jokes, and bring it right to your living room, make you feel great about being here. So thank you very much for supporting us, and we will be right back. And oh, there I am. And next, everybody, we will move on to the main event of the evening. The main event is the series creator, the creator of All the Hits and Several Misses, the creator of Live from the Living Room, who approached Andrew and I about doing a collaboration. This entire show you have been watching tonight was conceived and created by Samuel L. Rubenstein. Sam, I just want to tell you a little bit about him real quick. But you know what? Let me grab my note cards real quick so I don't mess this up. Samuel L. Rubenstein is a poet and comedian from New Jersey, author of To the Spider in My House, and creator of Sam's Dumb Face. Sam is known for his high energy and off-kilter humor. His new show, All the Hits and Several Misses, blends poetry, humor, and the theme of childhood in one strange but entertaining event. And Sam is coming on the show pretty much right now. Sam, how are you, my friend? Poetry, humor, and the theme of childhood in one strange but entertaining event. And Sam is coming on the show right there. He is.
Hi.
Sam, how you doing?
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Let me set up so I can
cannot hear you yet.
Oh.
Hold on, everybody. One
you hear
second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. This is all part of the act, guys. It's cool.
Okay.
How you doing? It's all good.
I'm trying to set up for the
It's all
Instagram.
good. This is a live event. It happens. Hold on, everybody.
Can you
1
hear?
second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Testing 1 2 3.
Test, test, test.
There
Hello.
he is. There he is.
Hello.
It's all good. It's all good. This is a live event. It happens. How you doing tonight, my friend?
How do I get on the Instagram? Hello.
Joining us on Instagram. Andrew, throw that "Be Right Back" again real quick for me. It's all good. Here we are. We are back and we are ready now. Sorry for the technical error. We are now ready to introduce the one, the only, the irrespectable, but so respectable, amazing, dancing, poetic, funny, and musical. No, maybe not musical. L Rubenstein. There he is. How you doing tonight? Oh, man, there's no way I need to see this.
Hello, everyone. I set up an audience. There's a laugh track in the background made of real socially distanced humans. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna just hop right into it. 2020 was weird and awful. I was supposed to do a book tour, a show, and all these fun things. So I feel like the best thing to do is to have a moment of collective screaming into the abyss. Thank you. To 40-year-old balding man sitting in his basement, or to those 10, 20-somethings sitting around a table drinking chai tea and matcha lattes, or whatever it is kids drink nowadays, or to that one English professor who had me as a student and probably wasn't a fan of my work, to whoever's out there reading this, publish this poem. Please! Please, I don't want to come across as pushy or desperate unless you're into that, at which point, publish me harder, daddy. But like, this poem is so publishable for any lit mag, journal, or online media content you're trying to develop. You want hyperbole? We got hyperbole for days. You want metaphors? The poem is a metaphor. Listen, it's as simple as a simile, and if you publish me, we could tick-tock the clock and meter across the teeter till we write up some similes until we alliterate, till we obliterate the page. Huh? Okay. No. That's bad. That wasn't what you were looking for. I get it. You want something angsty and young to appeal to like the 13-year-olds, you know, the kids that are listening to My Chemical Romance and calling it classic rock. You want that? I got you. It's hard to miss it. The agony, the hunger pangs, the feeling as you beat yourself bloody. Art is the cross and the thing we've dared to nail it to. There's no escape from this. Did you hear that shit? My God, that sounded so good. Like that was so publishable. It was like intense, but also safe. Like you felt safe, nestled in something comfortable. You're so safe, you never seem to notice that there's someone stuck on the other side of the screen. Eyes red, fingers bloody from typing, hoping, praying that this may be the one that finally works. Thank you. To the one friend of mine who worries if I drink water, I'm staying hydrated. To the people who don't care, that joke wasn't for you, so shut up. Thank you all for joining me for this show. It really means a lot to me. Thank you to Alec and Andrew, One True Promotions. Thank you to Damien and Jake for just being phenomenal. And thank you for being here. You could be anywhere in your house right now, but instead you're here with us. And I find that to be an honor. Please don't watch this on the toilet. Thank you for laughing. So a little bit about me. I am a poet. I'm a comedian. I'm a big fan of words. I think that they're one of the best things that exist. So much so that that's pretty much one of my favorite topics to write about. So this poem is about the idea of an important simile. If you can't find the similes, I get it. It can be a little bit hard to find. Just listen closely and you'll get it. I'm a hopeless romantic, he exclaims, like every other hopeless romantic out there. He sees the love of his life standing across the street. He runs towards her fast, like a cheetah, or an ostrich, or Usain Bolt running fast from something, probably because he's being chased by a cheetah or an ostrich. His love stands there, her pale blue eyes like the ocean or ice or neuroreceptors reflecting cones of light that coming in through optical nerves and then reflecting them back, which is exactly what light does through the eyeballs. It's not special. But she stands, leaning against the wall, smiling that coy smile, like the Mona Lisa or a coy fish. I don't like that. That's how she looks. And then there's me, watching them like a creep hiding in the bushes, which is exactly what I was, a creep hiding in the bushes. Thank you. Thank you again. So I think love gets a bad rap. I'm a fan of love. I don't date. I don't like people, but I like the idea of love. So this poem goes out to a former girlfriend of mine. She says she wants me to write her something. She wants something deep that fills her to the core. Something with length and girth in its writing. Thank you. This next poem's a little bit longer and maybe a little bit better. It's I have to read it because I'm old now. I can't memorize my poems like I used to, I think, and I'm scared. But we'll try to see how well we can do. When I write about love, I write about all the stars in the sky that I could pick like fruit, reaching up and bringing heaven down to taste like the sweetest apples off the tree. I write love like oceans and deserts, a vast expanse no more empty than full. When I write about love, love is music on a Sunday morning and a switchblade dinner that I could never turn down. Love tastes like sugar and sweat. Love feels like sandpaper along calluses, a sensation so strange, but I kind of like it. When I write about love, I write about sirens and my neighbors shouting at each other through the vents. I write about what killed the dinosaurs and which flowers would make the bees happiest to see me. Love looked like sunsets and the scars that were too embarrassed to show anyone else. When I write about love, I see the world as forever. The start and the end are meeting up for brunch and mimosas and to gossip. Love runs like a train towards all the children that I tied to that track. There's no escape from this. When I write about love, I write about everything. All of the moments that could be or couldn't, the ones that should, would, and were. When I write about love, I can write about anything and anyone. Anyone but you. How could you do this to me? Ladies, for some weird reason, I'm single. So, like, if you want fat, sad, and pretty hairy, come on by. I'm not that scary. Don't lie to me. My audience whistled in the background. I don't know if you could hear that, but I hope you can. Perfect. So, I believe it was Carl Sagan who said that the role of a comedian is to be an observer to the world. It was Robert Frost who said that poetry is objectively political because it demands we speak about the truth. So as a poet and a comedian, people ask me important questions all the time. They say things like, Sam, when is the COVID vaccine going to, become more effective? I don't know. They say, Sam, how do we solve race relations in the United States? Don't be racist. But the most common question I get every day every day is, Sam, what's your favorite car? And I think that's the most important. And I want to talk about that right now. See, the answer to that question is simple. I am a big fan of the Pontiac Aztec. I love this car. I love this car so much. See, the Pontiac Aztec, for those who don't know, I'll teach you, was made from 2001 to 2005. It is a artistic masterpiece. This car single-handedly led to the collapse of Pontiac as an industry. It bankrupted them, which makes me feel great because no matter how terrible I am, I'm not that bad. The only person I could bankrupt is myself and maybe my parents. I won't though, I swear. But I love this car because not only is it terrible, it is ugly. Let's just take a moment. Look at this car. Look at this car. This is an ugly car. Look at its face. Look at its everything. This car was provided as an off-road camping vehicle. It only has front-wheel drive, which means it can't go off-road. And it came with street tires, which definitely can't go off-road. And ready for this? It was 4 cylinders, so it couldn't tow anything to go off-road. The car makes no sense. But again, it is so ugly. It looks like how a 5-year-old draws a car. Look at this drawing that a 5-year-old did, and totally not me. But this is how I imagine a 5-year-old draws a car, which happens to look like a Pontiac Aztec. But like, think about it. It looks like a baseball hat that Optimus Prime wears to his stepson's Little League game. Like, not even his real kid. You played great today, Tommy. Thank you, Mr. Optimus. Please, call me new dad. No! I didn't want you anyway. Like, it's a terrible car. And then, if you look at it from the front, it looks even worse. It looks confused all the time. It looks so confused all of the time. Like, just look at that face. Look at that face. That is a car that doesn't know where it is, and it is begging for help. But with all of these issues, you probably wonder, Sam, why do you love the Pontiac Aztec? And the answer to that, my friends, is very simple. The Pontiac Aztec is the perfect car if I were to ever become homeless. I'm not wrong, and I can prove it with science. Pontiac Aztec did not come with any of the things you need to camp. Well, you know what it did come with? A tent. That's right. Look at how natural that tent looks. Look at how, it doesn't look like you just attached a piece of cloth to the trunk of your car. That's a place to live right there. You can live in there, and now you're wondering, but Sam, where would I sleep? Well, that's simple. Pontiac Aztec also came with an air mattress. It has an air mattress standard. Look at how happy this homeless man is. He probably has so much storage space. Like, it's the perfect car. And I know you're thinking, well, Sam, does it come with, like, any good features? Shut up. This is great. You wanted, like, a center console, maybe, like, ability to connect to your iPod because it's 2005. You wanted something good. You get a cooler. The car came with a cooler instead of a center console that you can pop out and fill with snacks or whatever it is, because now you live in your goddamn car. All right, I'm done. I'm done with the Pontiac thing. I wanted to go back to the idea of love, so I wrote this love poem, and it means the world to me. There have been very few things in my life that I'm sure of, mostly because I'm often unsure about really basic things like, what are we doing for dinner? Does anyone know? How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? Am I supposed to care about this? What are we eating? I'm sorry, I'm very easily confused. I'm forgetful. So when I say I'm 100% sure of something, please know it's a big deal. And love, I'm 100% sure about you and I. I want to spend my life with you the way lovers do. And listen, I have a plan that I know will work. Let's leave this place. We can go somewhere warm. Drive, chasing the sun from east to west, and end up wherever it sets. A life of adventure is what I'm craving. Just you, me, and my 2005 Pontiac Aztek. I'm still on this! I know this sounds crazy, but no, I'm crazy for you. So just hear me out for a second. I don't currently own a 2005 Pontiac Aztek, but I can get one for super cheap. I mean, they made way too many of them, so now they sell for like $3,000. Which, when you think about it, for like a new car by comparison, is dirt cheap. Like I could get 8 of them in every color, and I could just, have a rainbow of super beautiful cars that don't work. But just imagine for a second us driving, listening to the stock sound boom and blast as we listen to some of our favorite early 2000 CDs, looking at you, good Charlotte, driving down Route 66, going 66 miles per hour, because this isn't the fastest car in the world. But hey, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey and love. We got miles to go. Our custom Pontiac Aztek cooler, which comes standard with the car, filled to the brim with snacks and sodas. We take turns driving, /feeding each other, /making shitty eyes at the people who stare at us as we drive by in our beautiful bright orange Matchbox machine. Don't worry about taking things. There's so much cargo space. We have so much cargo space. And that's what, we can hold on to whatever matters. And when the night fades, maybe it could be you and me, cuddled close on our air mattress, which also came standard with the 2005 Pontiac Aztek. We lie on our backs and stare up at the starry American night sky, our eyes wide, the future ahead of us, and all of this could be done from the comfort of our Pontiac Aztek tent with retractable awning, also standard with the car. And listen, I know this sounds crazy, and I'm crazy for you, so I need you to trust me. What do you mean you don't want to go? What? Listen, listen, I really just mostly wanted the car, so like, if this is where we part ways, sayonara. Thank you. Thank you. I've been writing since I was little. I found writing as a coping mechanism to deal with like emotional issues. And if you've seen any of my other shows, I'll refer to it all the time. I had this little notebook that I wrote in growing up that had everything. And I always go back and look at it every so often. Every time I find something new and more meaningful that reminds me of where I was. And I think this is one of my favorite poems from it. It's called Drew and the Seahorse. When Drew was little, they told him he could be anything he wanted. So Drew decided he was going to become a seahorse. He drowned. I like thinking about like writing from the perspective of kids. I grew up as a weird kid, and I was one of those like failed child prodigy kids that in 3rd grade I was reading at a 6th grade reading level, and like, now I do this on the internet for strangers. I'm like a glorified OnlyFans account. But I think like thinking back, there's no reason I was one of those like prodigy, kids. When I remember very specifically when I was little, no one taught us that smoking was bad. And also no one taught us that there are certain things you just shouldn't do in the world. So I remember there was a point when I was like 6 and my mom yelled at me because I was standing behind a car trying to like take in the exhaust so that I could blow it out and look like a cool smoker. And like the fact that I'm alive is wild, because there's no reason a child that would do that would make it to adulthood. And here I am, barely being an adult, which is magical to me. But I think about like the idea of growing up, and it's such an unusual thing because back when I was a kid, I thought adulthood meant, you know, fast cars, good jobs, big families, and I realized as I got older, adulthood means nothing. I am just a confused 10-year-old who pays taxes. And so it's always been this very weird transition for me. I just moved recently, very proud of this. You can tell because I'm in my living room. I went from a studio apartment to a 1-bedroom with a balcony. Ooh. And it's a huge difference. Like, my mind is not always like aware of how big of a change it is. I stood up after work the other day, walked out of my bedroom, closed the door, and said, yeah, I could do that now. But like, being in a studio was weird, especially when I bring girls home. Like, you know how awkward it is? Like, hello, welcome to my living room, bedroom, kitchen. Thankfully, I paid enough so there's a real bathroom and we're not shitting on a squatty potty in the corner. We live in the lap of luxury here. Please, welcome, come, sit on my couch. This is where I cook, clean, eat, sleep, and sometimes cry and maybe masturbate, all at the same time. And now, I have dedicated rooms for all of those hobbies, and you're not going to know which one it is, ever. But like I said, I love the idea of writing from the perspective of kids. I think it means a lot more to me than it used to, especially as I got older. For those who don't know, I work with kids. That is my job. I'm an administrator at a camp when I'm not doing this nonsense, or I'm a teacher at a school that's not a camp when I'm not doing all this nonsense. But it's working with kids is like the best job because there's way too much pressure on kids nowadays. So when they come into my class and they're like, what do you mean you're not going to yell at us? Are you sure? Yeah. Because like kids have to deal with so much. Not only are they living in the end times that we're all living through right now, but many of them are going to school online. They're still taking standardized tests, which are terrifying for a lot of people. Not all of them have the best home. Like I think about this a lot. Like at my camp, I remember I was taking my kids to get their meds, and I was like, "Hey, Jimmy, what you going to get?" I'm going to go get Zoloft to deal with my depression. Okay. What about you, Mikey? What are you gonna get? Getting Xanax for my anxiety. Okay. What about you, Timmy? I don't know, but I can feel colors and shit, man. I love what he's having. That's amazing. So this next poem is a little bit about that. It's one of the it's one of the ones that I don't use like fun. It's just a fact. And I think it's why I think camp and school need to be a safe place for kids. So it's called The Kids Can Be Kids. The kids can be kids. That's okay. For those moments when they're too old to be anything other than old, and still too young to be anything more than young, they can know that for just a bit, they got to be kids with people like them. The ones who were too old to be young and too young to be old, but the ones that knew what they wanted. And what they wanted was just to let the kids be kids, at least for a moment. Thank you. This next poem, I wanted to write something about the idea of mourning a loss, and instead wrote a poem that I actually cried while writing. So I just want to take a moment to read it for you. This is called, I want to make sure I have it just in case. This is called my 2 o'clock tea party. I invited death to my 2 o'clock tea party. And this time he actually came to see me. Always polite as he took off his shoes before entering quietly into my room. Slowly and softly, he took a seat between Fluffy Bridges the bunny and the amazing cat Pete. Death chatted politely with all of the guests, wearing my favorite tiara from inside my best treasure chest. He smiled and giggled and drank his tea neat. When our party was over, we played hide and seek. And when the afternoon faded and the day turned to eve, my best friend Death told me it was time we should leave. So I grabbed my small hat so it could cover my head and unplugged those machines helping me stay in bed. I got up quite slowly and felt the cold of the floor, and my friend and I, Death, made our way towards the door. Thank you. I know what you're thinking. Sam, how the hell are you going to dig yourself out of that emotionally heavy moment? And the answer is really, really simple. Sam, don't think! Sam, don't think! SamSumpface.com. SamSumpface. A couple months ago, I created a website that is for all of my art, poetry, weird comedy stuff, nonsense, and everything I could think of. You can get Sam's Dumb Face t-shirts at samsdumbface.com. You can get Sam's Dumb Face stickers at samsdumbface.com. You can get customizable poems at samsdumbface.com. You can get an erection at samsdumbface.com. And also, you can get my book. In 2019, I got the opportunity to publish a book called To the Spider in My House. It was illustrated beautifully by Matt McAdam, who's a phenomenal artist. You can tell because he made this face look kind of like my face. And it's all about that the important relationship that you have with the spiders that live in your house, because if you don't know spiders live in your house, you can't control it. That's just what they do. And it has a beautiful art. This is the trailer for Spider-Man 3. This is what the trailer for Spider-Man 3 looks like. You can tell. But it's one of my favorites. I think one of the best things that I got to do with it was at the end, after we went through the story, I was able to put in a few of my favorite kids' poems. And so I wanted to read one, if I may be allowed. This poem's called Thinking Nothing. You know, it's pretty tough to think about nothing. Go ahead, try it. See, even now you're thinking about thinking nothing, which is thinking something. So, and you're just sitting there reading this in whatever voice you think works. Maybe it's a little girl or a big scary monster. You know what? Go back. Let's try this whole thing again, but this time read it as a monster. Okay? I'll wait. It's pretty tough to think about thinking nothing. Go ahead, try it. See, even now we're thinking about thinking nothing, which is something. Reading this in whatever voice you think works. Like a little girl or a big, scary monster. Go back, try this whole thing again. But this time, try it like a little girl. I'll wait. You know, it's pretty tough to think about nothing. Go ahead, try it, bitch. See, even now, you're thinking about thinking nothing, which is something, and you're reading this in whatever voice you think works. Like a little girl or a big scary monster. Go back, let's try this whole thing again, but please don't this time. I'll wait. Wild, right? Oh, please, I love this book. It is one of my favorite things I've ever gotten the chance to make, and it means the world to me. So yeah, in 2019, I got to live out one of my childhood dreams and got a book published, which is awesome. Thank you. In 2020, I got to live out another one of my childhood dreams, and I got banned from a literary magazine. I've always wanted to write something that would get me banned, and I found the opportunity, and I took it. So there's a real literary magazine out there called the Weasel Press, and they are a literary I know nothing about them, but when I looked at their submission guidelines, they were like, please, we're writing about the cutting edge, giving new opportunities to young authors and providing opportunity in this. I was like, okay, cool. And then at the bottom of the submission guidelines, away from everything else in the submission guidelines, in bold, all caps, it said, "The Weasel Press is not, nor have we ever been, a furry publication." Which led me to questions. Why? What happened? How come you need to say that so clearly? I feel like there has to be a story. So before I submitted anything, I emailed them to ask. No reply. I waited a little bit, no reply. I thought about it, and I was like, I guess I'll have to come up with my own reply. So I wrote this poem, and I submitted it to them, and they didn't like it. This is called Good News from the Angry Weasel Press. Good news! The Angry Weasel Press is once again accepting submissions for our annual literary magazine, Friends of the Forest. Unfortunately, after last year's fiasco, the editing team here would like to inform all potential submitters that the Angry Weasel Press is not, nor have we ever been, a furry publication. We would like to apologize to the members of the furry community internationally. However, after the confusion last year regarding our journal's name, we were suddenly inundated with a lot of furry literature and art. Like a lot. So we here at the Angry Weasel Press respect the furry community, and we believe that all art is valid. Like, listen, we're just not comfortable with the amount of graphic, intense, and very, very sexual material we received last year during our submission process. Like, it was a lot. Too much. I did not need 97 paintings of Donkey Kong and Fox McCloud T-boning Pikachu. Like, it's not what I asked for. As such, it is vital for our editing team to plainly state this. The Angry Weasel Press is not, nor have we ever been, a furry publication. Thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to reading your submissions to our annual publication, Friends of the Forest. Sincerely, the editing team here at Angry Weasel Press. So to anyone who doesn't normally publish poetry or send things into literary magazines, if you get rejected, you normally get this very generic stock letter of, "Thank you very much for your submissions. We here at insert generic lit mag name read and took the time to see all of these amazing, wonderful submissions, but unfortunately we had to make another decision." I did not get that. Instead, I got one sentence. "Dear Samuel L. Rubenstein, please do not submit here again. Sincerely, the Angry Weasel Press." And that is what I'm going for. That is the dream. So with that in mind, I should see what is next on my to-do list. Oh yes, okay. I love publishing stuff. I love putting things online, but at the same point in time, I find the online community to be this super fun level of toxic because I don't know how to express in like uncertain terms, and it hurts me on an emotional level. But I keep doing it, hoping that maybe it won't one day. So this next poem is almost entirely comprised of actual YouTube comments and/or online comments that I have received. So it goes a bit like this. I've made mistakes, many, in fact. I couldn't count them on all my appendages combined. Yeah, I've got scars, but no knife, no razor blade cuts as deep, bleeds as long, hurts the stone deep within my core, like reading the comments on anything I ever wrote, ever. Yo, man, why you gotta sound like that? Your voice mad annoying. I'm not saying I'm a better poet than you, but like, I'm 12, so. How come you got all sad and stuff in middle? You're supposed to be funny. Yo, man, this is bad AF. Do the world a favor, just fucking kill yourself, you emo ass, little dicky Seth Rogen looking motherfucker. Okay, why mad though? It's good, bro. You do you. I've imagined it over and over again. The way you describe your own fears of mortality. It's like you're trying to leave something here for someone else and just couldn't put it to words like that. It's like the feeling of drowning in a public pool. Everyone's there, but it's still so lonely. Listen, I don't know you, but I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad this poem's here too. Listen, maybe we don't meet. Maybe neither of our stories end up having a happy ending. But for a brief moment, thank you for making it a little bit less scary out there. Sorry. Gay! I don't like writing about politics, but I also love writing about politics. And I think it's important to know that. But this poem is not politically charged in any way. Groundhog Day was, this past week, and I think it's important to respect Groundhog Day. So I wrote a really important poem about Groundhog Day. I don't know what voice to do this in. I'm going to do this in a voice that I assume will actually write this. Listen here, there were too many goddamn groundhogs on Groundhog's Day that did not do their jobs. Those groundhogs slept through this most sacred of American holidays. Comfortably, they hid, quietly hibernating, almost as if they don't care that they're ruining this important day. That kind of selfishness does not fly in my America. But those dirty groundhogs, they act like they don't care about the human race. They're just content to sleep underground where they belong. There seems to be a certain lack of respect for their own country. A country built on freedom and liberty and hard work and millionaires. There's a respect which is needed to maintain law and order and sanctity of our great nation. Respect, which I think is vital. What would we do if Christopher Columbus just stopped celebrating Columbus Day? Exactly, he would never do that. He's a true American patriot. Groundhogs need to get their act together because we're not going to be sitting here waiting on them to tell us the weather. Sincerely, a disgruntled patriot, signed Parlor, January 6th. It's a poem about groundhogs. Nothing good. Politics is not real. Okay. So the show is coming to an end, and this is the third and final show in this series. It's not going to be the final show I do, but it is the final one in this series. I started doing these back in 2014 with a show called Trying to Make Friends with People Other Than My Shadow. I wrote this show about depression and trying to go through life with anxiety. And in my mind, I thought it was intense and edgy, but I found it later to become childish. And that was when I realized I wanted to keep going and create something with this. And so I made a second show called Am I Cool Yet?, which followed the same caricature of myself trying to understand their place in the social world. And so for me, it was very important to make this show, this last one, as this idea of finding one's place and being comfortable with who you are, even if you are a little hairy Jewish weirdo who walks around with your face on your own shirt. But so if you're here, thank you very much. And I wrote this poem to kind of encapsulate what all of this really meant to me. So it is called All the Things That I Could Do. If I put in just a bit of effort, I could probably fracture myself into a giant jigsaw puzzle and give it out to my brother to figure out. I could sculpt my skull into a vase and fill it with my mother's favorite flowers just for her to have something to look at and hold on to on a Sunday morning. I could record my dulcet tones and the screaming reelings into sweet songs down to vinyl and CD and put them on Spotify so that my dad can sing to something on his way to work. I found that I could toss my mind over and over again, create new machinations and mysteries, and do this over and over, hoping everyone just likes what they get out of me. More than anything, what I found is that what I really want to do is roll myself flat onto a piece of paper and press it down into words for the world to read. Create a giant sign saying, yeah, it's just about me. So this is, thank you. I have been working on publishing a book during COVID that really encapsulates a lot of how I've been feeling during this pandemic. It has a bunch of different things on it, and this is the title poem for it. And it's kind of the message that I want us to leave on. As weird as things are going to be better someday, soon, I hope. And if you're having trouble like I was when I started this, just know there's something good coming. So this is a candle regaining strength. The nights have felt so long recently. An unwavering dark sprawled across the night sky, covering absolutely everything. But today, I saw a light flickering in the distance, a candle regaining strength and fighting against the wind. The sun is rising soon, and I know this morning is coming. And when it finally does, it will be so beautiful. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to Alex. Thank you to Andrew, Jake.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, I can't breathe. Oh boy. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord, Sam.
I hope you had fun.
We did it.
If you like this,
I'm sorry?
if you like it, let us know.
Yes, let us know, please. Subscribe to One True Promotion.
Because we'll see what we can do. We'll make more of these, more people, weirder events. Who knows what's happening next?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. Let's have another hand for Sam, everybody. Send him a hand in the comment section. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Hold on a minute. Thank you also, Sam, for creating the show live from the living room. Let's have another hand for Sam, please. One last time, let's have a round of applause for Sam for being low. No, sorry. Let's have a round of applause for Jake and Damien, everybody, please. Round of applause for Jake and Damien. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Jake. And one more time, a round of applause for Sam, just for being a great person. Sam, you are great.
And one last time for Andrew, Alec, and One True Promotions for putting on a wonderful show. Thank you for allowing this to happen.
Our pleasure. Now get the hell out of here. There he goes. Bye-bye, everybody. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Sam, everybody. Sam is the man, and this was live from the living room. Thank you so much for joining us. This was One True Promotions' biggest collaboration to date. It was great seeing everybody perform. It was amazing to have you all join us in the comments. Thank you for commenting and sharing. Thank you for all that you did tonight. We may do another one of these shows, so please tell us in the comment sections on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch if you would like to see an episode 2 of Live from the Living Room. And everybody, we are up. That's pretty much it for tonight. Hey, please follow One True Promotion on Instagram and Facebook. Please subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube accounts. That is One True Promotion. We've got a lot of shows going on. Drop a line, live readings, writing sprints, and hey, Live from the Living Room. You can watch it back anytime on One True Promotion. Just please hit that subscribe button, and we will get more and more people onto these shows to perform. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good night.